My name's Anoksha. I'm a student recruitment officer here at ASU London. Today I'm joined by my colleagues as well and one of our current students. So today's session is going to talk about our business and management course as well as student life at ASU London, and also going to introduce you to who we are and our partnership with Arizona State University in the US. And then we're going to end it with a question and answer session towards the end. Before we begin, can I just ask everybody to pop into the chat from whichever part of the world you are tuning in from? So if you're from England, London, US, if you just want to pop it on the chat, it's just a fun thing for us to know where we have our audience coming in from. So I'm gonna ask my colleagues to introduce themselves as well. So Olu, if you don't mind, just introducing yourself.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Oluseyi Adeyemi. I'm an associate professor here in ASU London. You're welcome to this session.
Thanks, Olu. Melly, if you don't mind, introducing yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Melly. I'm a third year student at ASU London. I'm studying global design engineering on the 3-year BEng course. I'm also a senior student ambassador, so I'm joining you today to answer any questions you may have from a student point of view on student experience here.
Thanks, Melly. And Fred, if I can have you as well.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Fred Johnson, one of the directors at Arizona State University in the US, and I help international students, Americans as well, transition over to ASU London.
Thanks, Fred. And Riaz, if I can have you introduce yourself.
Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Riaz Labad. I am the admissions coordinator here at ASU London, so I'll be answering any of your questions related to applications, entry requirements, or anything like that.
All right. Thank you, everybody. So if you have any questions at any point, feel free to pop it on the chat, but we do have a question and answer session towards the end, so you can turn off your mics and ask your question then as well. And we're just going to begin. So before I hand it over to Olu, I just want to clarify a couple of things. So here in the UK, we use certain terminology that our audience might not be familiar with. So just to break down that barrier, we have a couple of terms that I'd like to introduce to you. So A-levels, that's essentially what we call the qualification here in the UK, the secondary school qualification here. So it's similar to your high school diploma. In the US, your IB or advanced placement. Course and program, that's essentially the degree that you're applying for. So, for example, BEng in global design engineering or BSc in business and management, that is a course or the program that you've applied for. And modules, essentially in the US, what you call unit of studies within the particular subject or within the particular program. So within a particular program, you'll have different modules and units that you'll be studying. That's what we call in the UK. And term and block is equivalent to what you would know as your semester. Assessment marking, that's essentially how students are graded. So our academics use that term quite a bit. Honors degree, which is equivalent to a UK 3-year bachelor's degree. And your academic professors are what you would call your teachers or your instructors. And for entry requirements, which basically means your admissions requirements or your admissions criteria, UCAS is the UK's centralized application system, which is similar to Common App in the US. And timetable is essentially your weekly schedule of classes and teaching. All right, so now that that's cleared off, Olu, I'm going to hand it over to you. Go.
Thank you so much, Anuka. Yeah, we are ASU London, and before now we used to be called Teddy London. you would have the opportunity to study in 2 countries and also have 2 degrees at the end of your study. You have the opportunity to study in the UK and also the US. So you have both qualifications from the UK and also from the US. And that will give you endless opportunities in terms of the fact that a bachelor's degree in the UK is 3 years. And with this program, you'll be able to go on with a 1 year master's in Arizona State University. That will save you time and money compared with having a 4 years undergraduate in the US and 2 years master's in the US. So instead of spending 6 years, you will have spent 4 years for the same achievement. Also, you'll be able to double your connections with employers, looking at the network of employers that we have here in ASU London and also those in Arizona State University. You'll be able to network with them all, as well as, the massive amount of student and also academics on both sides, in addition to the qualification that you have, which gives you access to both the UK market and also the US job market. By September 2026, we'll be moving our campus from where it is now in Canada waters to City St. George in Islington campus. That's at the center of London. So that's going to be more exciting because we are going to be just at the center of where things are happening. And that will give us access to not only a vibrant location, but also modern library and studies spaces, the opportunity for students to be able to go on recreational and sport activities. There's be a gym, there's a city sport there, there's a fitness studio, and there are a lot of student support hub, which will be able to attend to your need based on individuals. Then the innovative teaching spaces that we'll be having in the new campus are some of the things that, we just can't, afford to miss. In terms of the maker spaces, right now, both the students and the academics are designing the new maker spaces. And that also shows you the way we do things. We put everyone, we include everyone in our design to make sure that it's fit for the use of everyone. In ASU London, we have a couple of programs that we run, both on the business and the engineering side. And presently, we have programs on business and management, computer science, and also in engineering. On engineering, we have 4 individual programs. We have the global design engineering, which extend to the master's level. But for engineering with artificial intelligence, engineering with mechatronic systems, those are up to the bachelor's level. The electrical and electronic engineering and engineering with mechatronic system will be new programs that will be started in September 2026. Engineering with artificial intelligence has started already this year, last year, 2025, and global design engineering has been running for a long time. Like I said, we've had that even up to the master's level now. What makes ASU London unique? It's our approach to teaching. Right from the start, you are seen as a professional. You are not seen as a student, but you are seen as a professional who is building experience along the way. We use this project-based approach to solving real-world problems. You would have the opportunity to analyze and evaluate real case studies of live organizations. You would have access to studies that are conducted with a lot of resources from global organizations like McKinsey. And, sustainability, inclusion, and ethics are things that run through ASU London's approach of learning and also facilitating learning. And that is something you would also gain because you would do all your projects in relation to sustainability and in relation to how they relate with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. That will also give you a strong career focus because now you have so many tools and so many skill set with you, not only on the business and management side, on the sustainability side, on the ethics side, on the inclusive side, and also understanding the fact that we are not backward in terms of technology. We are also moving with the latest trend in technology. We adapt and adopt AI to whatever we do, and that's gives us an edge in terms of being able to forecast and being able to do things quickly to save time and also to save resources. Yeah. In terms of our approach to teaching, we have inclusive assessment. Um, that means, we don't use just one form of assessment. We have varieties of assessment modes. We could use the portfolio, we could use the report writing, we could use presentation, we could use posters. We have quite a lot. And based on your need, that's the kind of assessment we use. We have this alternative form of assessment that everyone doesn't fit into just one box for the assessment. In terms of inclusive admission as well, we are not excluding anyone. That is actually the purpose of ASU London, to ensure that people who love to be engineers or be design engineers are able to do that even without being strong in mathematics, because we do not believe that mathematics is the key factor to decide whether you will be an engineer or not. But that does not mean that we are trying to play down the significance of mathematics in being an engineer. It only means that we are using a different approach by scaffolding mathematics into our learning. As such, we have a dedicated math support tutor who is always here on campus to able to take you through some of the maths element of whatever you'll be doing in your program. And with this business and management program, that's the same thing that's going to apply when you are doing with data analysis or you are doing with forecasting, and there are some modules that you need to understand better. This math support tutor will be there with you to guide you along the path. In terms of study abroad, in year 3, our students have the opportunity to either come to Arizona State University in the US or go to the University of New South Wales in Australia. And from past years, students have had fantastic and splendid experiences through this study abroad. In terms of the business and management program, you'll be having 3 years undergraduate study here in ASU London. And in the first year, you'll be taking through modules like behavioral and physical intelligence, data analysis for business, business law and ethics, macro and macroeconomic principles. And what we want to do, for example, in the behavioral and physical intelligence, is to kind of integrate psychology with financial literacy. In terms of data analysis for business, we want to kind of integrate your business analytical skills with business computing skills so that you can be able to make decisions from big data of different organizations. And that will make you useful to them, valuable to them, by making their decision processes very simple. Do not forget that all this will be done through the project-based approach, meaning that we do not have lectures. You do group work, you do independent study, then you come to sessions whereby you do in-class practical sessions. We present or you read a case study. Based on your understanding, we analyze it together, giving you opportunity to see various perspectives around an issue. In year 2, you'll be deepening your understanding and your competencies by having modules like data-driven decision and business communication. It's something to be able to communicate. It's another thing to be able to communicate in the business world. And what we try to emphasize is that communication is not just speaking, but communication has to be purposeful. We'll train you along how to have purposeful communication and how to enthuse listening so that people can actually listen to what you even have to say. The data-driven decision is not only decisions you are making from just hypothetical theories or some studies that you're not aware of, but they are informed studies that has real life data that will enable you to be able to make decisions that will be useful and valuable to take organizations forward. In terms of business system and leadership, leadership today is not about position, but about responsibility. And responsibility is not about coming to the front. It's just about doing the little you can do and ensuring that the organization you have, you are contributing significantly. More on this module in how to evaluate different business systems and how to be a leader in a business organization are what you'll be taking through on this module. In year 3, you'll be having a module on business and management individual projects, meaning that all that you've learned in year 1 and year 2, we want you to use them to solve a real life problem within an organization. The organization can be a multi-dollar organization, it can be one of the global organizations, or it can be an SME. But your significant improvement to that organization is what we care about. And what we want to see is to see threads of all that you've learned in year 1, year 2, and year 3 being infused into that project and making that project not just a theoretical piece of work, but also making it something valuable that can make organizations to be more profitable, to be more valuable, and to scale up their operations. As well, we'll be having supply chain logistics, trying to make you understand how you can get your raw materials from one continent to the other continent, and how you can do that efficiently without delay and without negatively influencing the inventory that you have in different organizations. As well, we'll be having modules on strategic procurement management. We try to train you on how to source globally and what are the metrics that you need to put in place in sourcing globally. Then again, you'll be having a module on project management. And on that module, we want to help you to understand what are the metrics that you need, what are the decision points that you need on handling the project, the milestones that will be useful on that project. How do you plan the project? What are the tools you need? Is it the Gantt chart? So many tools that you can use to ensure that you manage a project successfully. These are things that will be taking you through in year 3. So with the integration of these modules, that would give you the kind of skill that you need. And remember, it's not through lecture, it's just through project-based, through live cases, case studies from multinational organizations, from small and medium scale enterprises, to understand what are their successes, what are the metrics that have made them successful, and also to be able to learn from their failure cases. What are the things they could have done differently? These are the things that we want you to deal with to acquire the skills you need so that when you get into the industry, you know what to do. Next slide. Yeah, there is a broad career pathway for you if you go on the business and management program. You're not limited to any field because almost every field need a business manager. And like I said, from day one, you are treated as a business manager in training, not like a student. So we talk to each other with that level of intuition, with that level of critical reasoning. And you can now choose afterwards what you are more comfortable with, whether in the investment banking or in the investment world, or in financial, being a financial analyst, or going to consulting firms to be a management consultant, or you want to work in an organization as an operation manager, or you want to even start your own organization. There are diverse pathways that you can follow. So studying on the business and management program is actually like opening you to a broad spectrum of job positions that you could follow based on your own individual interest. If you go on this business and management program with ASU London, you'll be having your study here in London. Afterwards, you could progress to a 1-year master's in Arizona State University in supply chain management. But that's not the only program that you could offer in Arizona State University. We are still in development of more programs, such as having a one-year master's in artificial intelligence in business, or a one-year master's in economics, or a one-year master's in marketing, or a one-year master's in entrepreneurship and innovation. Yeah, with that, I want to allow Fred to continue.
Thank you, Olu. And that was a lot of information, but really good information. So thank you for taking the time to explain all of that to us. Hopefully everyone has a lot of their questions that they had earlier answered. If not, at the end, we can help you with that. Now, I'm one of the directors at Arizona State University in the US, and I can help you with the process of getting to ASU London and then transitioning right over to Arizona State. As you can see on the screen right now, we're constantly ranked as #1 for a lot of different areas, specifically in innovation, sustainability, and global impact. In the next slide, you'll be able to see a lot of the other rankings that we have. Something that's important to know is that we are the founding partners of ASU London. So if you're admitted to ASU London, you're immediately tapped into Arizona State University's network. We have over 800 different degree programs or majors. There's a diverse number of graduate programs that you can choose from. So not only the ones that you've already seen in the previous slides, but there's a lot of different other programs that you might be able to tap into if there's different interests that you might have. We have over 1 million alumni, so graduates from Arizona State. What that means to you is that you have contacts all over the world. There's a lot of contacts right there. We currently have over 180,000 students at Arizona State University. 14,500 of those are international students. So once again, a very diverse population that we have at the university. Since Arizona State University helped develop the ASU London programs, it's a smooth transition from ASU London to Arizona State. We're very familiar with the curriculum, so we're very familiar with students from ASU London and what they've studied. So it's a seamless process to integrate into the graduate school program at Arizona State. If you're an American or an international student, I'm your person that can help guide you from applying to ASU London, hopefully graduating within 3 years with your bachelor's degree, and then doing that additional year at Arizona State. I already see a question in the chat area asking if you would have to apply. The programs that we have mapped out already that Olu kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, those are seamless. You don't have to reapply, and you will get a counselor that helps you through the process. If there's other majors that you want to apply to, then it might be a little bit more of applying to those programs, but we can help you with that once you're on campus. And then the next slide is going to talk about important topics, which is finances, right? Everyone wants to know how expensive it is, how much you're going to have to pay. On the left-hand side, we're talking about ASU London, so everything you see is in pounds. And then on the right-hand side, it's comparing it to U.S. universities. There's over 5,000 universities in the U.S., so tuition varies from institution to institution. So what I did is I took Arizona State's tuition and fees and put it on there as a comparison, but it's not necessarily just Arizona State. It could be other universities in the US. And once again, those amounts vary. So you see on the left-hand side, our tuition is 23,600 pounds. Everything added up towards the bottom is going to be an estimate of about 38,000 to 43,000 pounds. In US dollars, that's about 51,000 to 58,000 US dollars. On the right-hand side, you see everything in dollars now. So tuition at Arizona State or any other US university could be around 37,000. Once you add it all up, we're probably about 64,000, 65,000 at that point, putting everything together. Now, comparing side by side, a 3-year bachelor's degree, which is what ASU London would be, the estimated cost is about $116,000 136,000 to 136,000 pounds, or in US dollars, it's 155,000 to 182,000 US dollars. Remember, that's over 3 years, so you have a savings of 1 year. On the right-hand side at the bottom in maroon, you'll see that a 4-year degree is going to be roughly about 259,000 US dollars. So you end up with a savings of about 77 to 104,000 US dollars by doing the ASU London 3-year program instead of a 4-year US university program. Hopefully this clears things up. And then I'm passing it on to Reyes. He'll talk to you about everything that you need to know about how to apply and what those requirements are, and exciting to get you on your next steps.
Thank you. So yeah, just to kind of go through the application process. So we are accepting applications currently. So there's 2 ways to apply. For those based in the UK, you can apply directly to us. But generally in the UK, most students use the application system for college admissions, which is UCAS. So if you're one of those that are, in a sense, not 100% set on coming to ASU London and would like to kind of, in a sense, get as many options or choices as possible, we would advise you to use UCAS as your point of application. If you, on the other hand, are dead set on ASU London and you're not really interested in applying anywhere else, you can apply directly to us on our website. So on our website, you would just go to the application page, and then once you go through and fill out the contact form, it will take you to an online portal where you then submit all of your details. That then comes through to the admissions team, where we'll obviously liaise with you and obviously guide you through the process. So in terms of the direct application, we do tend to kind of ask for a couple things. So obviously your educational history. We do obviously look at personal statement and references, just like they do on the UCAS application. So it's very similar. There's not much differences in terms of the types of things that we'll ask for on the direct application compared to on UCAS. Once you obviously, in a sense, in our system, based on whether or not you meet our entry requirements, you should then obviously receive an offer that is similar to UCAS. So you'll receive an offer from us directly, or you'll receive an offer from us on UCAS. So that kind of is the same for international applicants as well. So you can apply via UCAS or direct. So it just depends on what your preference is. In regards to our entry requirements, again, UK students are a little bit more familiar with some of the terms that Anuki highlighted earlier on. So in terms of just standardized level 3 qualifications such as BTECs and A levels, we are looking for equivalent of 112 to 120 UCAS points. So that's roughly anywhere between a 3 Bs at A level to 2 Bs and a C at A level. So in terms of obviously entry requirements internationally, we do have a list of those on our website. So it's based on whatever country you're applying from. You can obviously scroll through and see a list of what qualifications we would kind of consider from those individual countries. If your country isn't listed or the qualification that you're taking isn't listed on the website, don't panic. Just send us a line to the admissions team. So that's admissions@asu-london.ac.uk, and we can kind of, in a sense, liaise with you and see whether or not your qualification is something that we can consider. Yeah, Anuki just put it in the chat. So it's admissions@asu-london.ac.uk. So yeah, as I was saying, if your qualification isn't listed, don't see that as something that you should worry about. We are quite open-minded in regards to considering different qualifications from all around the world. As an applicant internationally, you are available to automatically be into scholarships. So we have our inaugural global scholarship. So once you're receiving an offer, you'll be automatically offered the scholarship, which is £4,750 per year of study. So that's something that you don't have to apply for, that will be given to you once you receive a conditional offer from us. There are some conditions that you kind of have to adhere to once you have obviously received that offer. So you have to have applied to us by the 2nd of March 2026. Once you receive your conditional offer, you have to have paid and accepted your offer and paid your deposit by the latest 13th of May 2026. So there's 2 key deadlines to consider there for those that are applying from international markets. So that's the 2nd of March 2026. That's the deadline to get your application in. And then the 13th of May 2026. For our home applicants, we have a number of scholarships that we do offer, but they are criteria based. So there's 2 sections. There's our talent scholarships, which is obviously based on whether or not you have a big, you have to apply for, and whether or not you have a big idea that you can communicate to us. So there is an application process that you would need to go through, and we'll be contacting our home students about that. And then obviously the criteria based ones are, in a sense, targeted to those that come from underrepresented groups within higher education. So for instance, like women in engineering is one that I know we've offered previously. So just stuff like that, just to kind of, in a sense, pull from those groups. Yeah, next slide.
I think that's
Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So thank you everybody for that informative session. We're gonna open it up for a Q&A. So if anybody has any questions, you can raise your hand or just unmute your mic and ask away as well. We did have one which Fred has already sort of acknowledged while presenting. So thank you for that, Fred. And yes, we just have application specific question from Oscar. If you don't mind just taking that, that would be much appreciated.
I'm just scrolling down.
Thank you. Meanwhile, if I can just ask Melly a couple of questions, that would be great. Melly, are you ready?
Ready.
Great, thank you. So first and foremost, I mean, it would be nice for everybody to know as well, why did you choose ASU London?
Sure. So I was looking for London-based universities at the time, and a lot of places taught subjects in a more traditional manner. So when I came to ASU London for an open day and attended virtual events, I really liked how it was a brand new course. It was designed from the ground up to be modern, to be for the future. For me, I'm on the engineering course, so it was for like the future of engineers, but obviously for the business course and the other courses, it's the same similar theme where they're trying to bring the next generation of professionals into the industry. So I liked how it was totally new, something different, a new concept. We work with industry, which is quite cool. So the projects we work on are real life problems. So it feels like we're actually making a difference in the world by doing the projects. So we get work experience from it. We get to connect with industry partners throughout the time. The community is quite nice as well. It's quite close knit. Everyone knows each other. Everyone speaks to each other. Everyone tries to help each other out. Academics always willing to help out. We've got a lot of support on campus, off campus. So for me, it was quite a unique experience. I felt that when I went to other traditional unis, the numbers were quite big there, so you just seemed like a number to them. Whereas at ASU London, you seemed more of an actual student where everyone cares about each other. Overall, I think I like the unique approach to learning with ASU London.
Thank you, Melly. And I think, Oscar, your question about why you should choose ASU London over traditional universities is something that Melly has sort of addressed. So as Olu has mentioned previously as well, I think the way that teaching takes place here and the exposure you get to various industry partners as well as practical learning is something that sets us apart. Olu, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
Yes, thanks, Anuka. One of the sessions that we used to have for information sessions and event planning, one of the parents that came said in the feedback that, this is amazing that, people keep talking about other universities like Imperial, like Oxford, but this is a small university doing big and mighty things that, you would not think of that until she also came in and she saw the diversity of what we're doing, the range of activities, the range of learning opportunities. That's when she got convinced as well. So the fact that we are going on the project-based learning that relates directly to real life case studies, that is something unique that you would like to consider, I think.
Thank you. Thanks, Olu. And we have a question about medical care while in London. Riaz, stop me if I'm wrong here, but students do pay, international students pay a health surcharge, and then when they do join us, they will have to register with the NHS. Is that correct, Riaz? Yeah. Okay, brilliant. So that's essentially covered while you apply for your visa as well. And we have a question around student housing. So at the moment, we don't have our own student housing. So we don't have dorms or what you call is halls in the UK. But we have a list of providers that we sort of recommend. And our student hub team, which is our student services team, helps students as well and guides them through the process of applying to these housing providers. I have just shared a link on the chat as well with you regarding the same. And we have a question around dress code or expected level of dress. I mean, there's nothing, I think, formally as such, like people wear informal clothing. There might be some guidelines and policies around certain things, but there's no restriction as such, like students wear whatever they want to. Melly, would you like to just add to that? Like there's never been
Yeah,
an
if
issue
you want to
with...
come in casual, you can come in casual. If you want to come in smart, you can come in smart. We don't judge it. I guess however you want to come in or feel that day, you can throw that on and come in. So yeah, there's no like specific requirement saying you have to come in a suit or come in something smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. When students do have showcases, they end up wearing suits or like dress up a bit, but
Yeah.
that's because they have that showcase and they're presenting as well, their prototypes and other things. And we have a question around what our weekly timetable might look like. Melly, do you want to just talk about how your weekly timetable looks like?
Yeah, so when it's usually 3 or 4 times a week you'd be on campus. So when I first started, it was afternoon sessions. So I was in Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays doing 1 to 5s. So that would be my contact hours, and then any other time would be me doing my social stuff or catching up with work or going over any online learning material. The year after that changed, so it was 9 to 1, but again 4 days a week. Then in my third year at the moment, I'm in once a week. And then my other time I'm working on my personal project, my final year industry project. But so generally it's like that. So I think there's some years coming in like 3 times a week, some years coming 4 times a week, but yeah, that's how it generally is. Some might be coming in morning, some might be coming in the afternoons. So the blocks are set like that.
Thanks, Melly. And just to add to that, so timetable for different courses are going to be different because we've launched like 3 new programs coming this autumn, fall, whatever you want to call it. So timetable will vary depending on that as well. Olu, do you have anything to input about timetables?
Yeah, thank you, Anuka. The timetable would normally be flexible, giving you an opportunity to be on campus and also to have time to be able to, have study opportunity session with your colleagues, and also in case of, you going into organizations, just, to have a talk with whoever you want to have a talk with. Because I remember on the innovation and entrepreneurship module, there were times that we asked students to, go to businesses around, talk to them, understand why they start their business and things like that. And also, we believe that, when you go around these different organizations, you can read about their annual report, and, those could be things that will be useful for you also in your study. So in terms of the timetable, it's very flexible. Mainly, I said it from the student perspective. Is either you are in class, you are in school 3 or 4 times a week, and we're trying to do as much as we can to ensure that you have, other time to do other things in terms of recreation and um, societies and other things that may be interesting to you.
Thank you, Olu. And we have a question around open days and taster course days. So we have our next open days in summer. So it would most likely be in June and July. The dates are not finalized yet, but once they are, they will be up on our website as well. In terms of taster course days, so what we do have is a taster program called Thinking Ahead, which is a 3-week free online taster program. I run that program as well, so you will see me a lot during the course of those 3 weeks. Essentially, we bring in an industry partner who comes and gives students a project, and then students work. It's up to you if you want to do it as a group or individually. Again, it's free for you to join. The next dates are being finalized, but it would most probably be sometime around March or April. And we have a question from Heather around managing a job with the course load. Can I just double check and ask whether is this for international students or domestic students?
It would be an international student.
Okay, thank you. So at the moment, we are on a probationary license with UKVI, so that's the Home Office. So international students are not allowed to work just yet. And that all depends on when we would get our full license as well. So at the moment, I would say for international students, they are not allowed to work. We don't know, we don't have a timeline yet of when that will change in the future, because these things do take a bit of a time. But if it does change in the future, students will be informed of that. Is there anything you'd like to add to that, Fred or Riaz? All good?
No, yeah, you covered it all.
Okay. Thank you.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yep.
So is the campus going to be in City St. George, like part of the DUS University, or how's going to be?
Yep. Olu, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, please. Thanks, Anuka. The university will be renting some space from City St. George University, so we are going to be independent from them. We already have scheduled spaces for our programs, but it's just beyond that same campus where they are. That's just to give us access to,
okay, thank
the
you.
city. Yeah.
All right.
So before it was called Teddy University, right? And now it's ASU London.
That's correct.
So we would call Teddy London before that, and now it is ASU London. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Melly, if I can just ask you one more question. So if you'd like to talk about your favorite project And
Sure.
how have you found group projects as well?
Sure. So, two of my favorite projects were Living Lab and Innovation Entrepreneurship. So, I'll talk more on the Innovation Entrepreneurship one, as that's the one that I done this year, and it might relate better to this session. So with that module, it was quite nice because we were taught how to take literally nothing into an actual proper idea that we can bring into the market. So it was quite cool. It was a group task. So we had Professor Olu teaching us, and we also had a professor come over from America, Joe Steensma, who is also an entrepreneur. So we had sessions from both of them on how we can be entrepreneurs, how we can take something small into something big and launch it into the market. So we learned about the finances of things, the marketing, the sales of things, being able to develop projects further. So it was quite nice because we learned a broad range of skills, and we had the opportunity to be able to work with actual professionals that have dealt with situations like this, which is quite nice. So we were able to ask questions, have sessions, have different activities going on to broaden our imaginations and broaden our knowledge. So that one was quite cool, and we got to make something as well. We got to have a presentation showcase. We got to present that to stakeholders. We got to then have a networking session afterwards. It was also part of a competition, so it meant that there was prizes associated, there was money associated with it as well. So we won some money, and we got to have that to be able to develop the project further. So overall, I think that project was quite cool because we learned teamwork from that. We got to distribute tasks between each other. We got to create something that actually addresses a real life problem. So we literally in 10 weeks went from nothing to having a whole full-fledged solution to show off. So overall, yeah, that was quite cool to do.
Thank you. And so far, how have you found group projects and working within groups?
So I think so when you first start doing group projects, some people may not love it right away. Some people may have questions like, because I know like some people do prefer working individually, and some people do working as a group. And for someone that prefers working, let's say individually, moving into something that requires a lot more group work might be something that's a bit annoying. But I feel like as you progress along the years, as I've learned at ASU London, it's quite nice because you get used to it, and you get used to it, you develop with it. You get to work with lots of different people from different backgrounds, so you learn from each other. You get to distribute tasks with each other. You get to bounce ideas off each other. So I think for some people, so like I'm used to group work, so for me it was fine. But I know there was some other individuals that I've worked with that didn't like group work as much. But I think because we get exposed to it so much, and there's such a wide range of different assessment methods, you sort of come out where you actually enjoy it after a while, and it gets you prepared for the real world, because obviously when you go off to work, you're just thrown into a project and you don't know who's working on it, you don't know what backgrounds people come from. So I think getting exposure to that early on definitely does make a good difference.
Thank you. And we have a question around assessments and how much of the degree is graded on exams, please. Melly, we can have you talk about assessments as well and your experience with assessments, and then we can possibly have Olu talk about it as well.
Yeah, sure.
after you.
So,
Yeah.
in terms of assessment, so I'm on the Global Design Engineering program. So, on regarding my program itself, we only have one assessment at the end of the year in the first and second year, a written exam. Other than that, it's all project-based work. So, presentations, reports, posters. making models, creating stuff. So all hands-on project-based stuff. And so obviously ASU London does try to keep it as close to the real world as possible, because obviously when you go off into work, you're not sitting there having exams all the time, doing written work all the time. So we do try to have less of that and more on the making. So in the first and second year, like I mentioned, there is a written exam, and that one just tests. It's open book. So for us, it's open book. We have our notes. We have access to our learning material. So it's not testing how much we can remember or what we've remembered. It's testing more how we can take that knowledge and apply it to a real life problem. So that's why we get access to our material. So overall, the assessment methods, I personally like it more than how traditional unis do it. I think with traditional unis, I see a lot of times friends having to do written assessments all the time in closed book conditions. And I think for me, that would stress me out quite a bit. So I do like how ASU London structures it. I don't know if there is there a written exam for the business program, or do we know about that? Yeah.
Yeah, just like you said, Melly,
Okay.
you've answered excellently. For the business and management as well, that will not be a written exam. Even the exam at the end of the year is now brought into the program through the blocks. So after each semester, you just have like an in-class exam. So, and it's not exam, so to call exam, is open book. You have access to the resources that you need. Just we need to test your application of what you've learned to real world scenarios. That's basically it. So if you have somebody that does not like exam or has a phobia for exam, I think you're just in the right place. We don't scare people with exams. Real life, like Melly said earlier, does not test on exams. It tests on applications.
I think you're on mute, Anoksha.
Of course I am. Sorry. All right. Thank you so much both for that answer. Any other questions that anybody has before we end this session? Well, I'm going to pop in the emails that you can contact us on as well. So if you think of any question at any point, feel free to contact us on the admissions email that I've already popped in the chat for entry requirements, or our general email, which is just hello@asu-london.ac.uk. I've just popped that in. But thank you everybody for joining us today and for sparing some time and coming to speak with us. We hope you enjoyed this session, and have a lovely evening for those of you in England. For the rest of you, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Bye.
You too. Thanks.
Thanks for all the information.
Thank you.